There's a couple of kids. There's like two. Okay. Good morning, everybody. We're gonna sing our opening song in a second, but it's not your regular one. We are also, in addition to English and Spanish, we're also doing French. So good luck, and we love each other regardless of what's about to happen. And many thanks to Joanna George for the French translation.
Welcome to Chalice Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are a community of diverse beliefs and experiences, nurturing the liberal religious spirit and united by our desire to grow and love in service. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your life's journey, you are welcome here. Whether you gather with us every Sunday, once or twice a year, or are with us this morning for the first time, we're glad you're here. I'm Ivy Meller, the worship associate today. Our service is led by our Chalice Young Adult group. Our worship musician this morning is Tim McKnight, and our song leader is Leah Brown. Our tech team is Hope Campbell and Sarah Komnick. Our greeters are Debbie Ressler and Shannon Anderson. Our minister, Reverend Sharon Wiley, will return to the pulpit on January 14th. Welcome to our Sunday worship service. Welcome to those of you here in the chapel, and welcome to those of you here watching live over Zoom. We welcome children in our community and here in our worship. Please talk with our Director of Family Ministries, Kathleen Swift, to learn more about our programs for children. Childcare for our youngest children is always available during services. For those of you here in the chapel, you will notice that we have the windows open. This is to ensure good air circulation in the room. There are also 4 air purifiers in the room. Please feel free to leave the chapel if you are uncomfortable for any reason. You will be able to hear what is happening inside while you are outside in the courtyard. We are always delighted to see newcomers joining us in worship. As a newcomer, you may be interested in the groups and activities we offer. A good way to get this information is through our email newsletter and our e-news calendar. Online newcomers will receive an email invitation to join our email list after the service. In-person newcomers, if you haven't already given us your email address when you signed in, please share it before you leave. Our weekly email is the best way to get information about the many groups and activities we offer here at Chalice. Now, let us take a breath together.
We acknowledge that our service is taking place on the stolen territory of the Kumeyaay, meaning humans or people, and the Payam meaning Western people. A land acknowledgement works to undo the intentional erasure of Indigenous people and to support the resilience and strength that all Indigenous people have shown. We acknowledge the original inhabitants as a first and critical step toward learning and working with Indigenous communities to secure meaningful partnership and inclusion in the stewardship and protection of their cultural resources and sacred homeland.
We begin our service by lighting our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. The flaming chalice was first used during World War II by the Unitarian Service Committee as a symbol of life-saving refuge for people fleeing persecution from Europe. I'd like to invite Paula Gonzalez to light our chalice this morning. Our chalice lighting words come from the Sacred Power of Justice by Jamie Yandel. We light this flame to ignite the sacred power of justice. We light this flame so that it may be a beacon of hope in moments of uncertainty, fear, anxiety, and the unknown. We light this flame and are emboldened by its blaze, knowing our strength as a prophetic and powerful people is rooted in the diverse ways we answer the call to love. We invite the children and anyone else who would like to join us in our words of affirmation.
Hopefully I remember.
Ready? We are Unitarian Universalist Church of the Open Minds, Loving Hearts, and Helping Hands.
Someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep? And have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La 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 la
The words for our call to worship this morning come from Audre Lorde. You do not have to be me in order for us to fight alongside each other. I do not have to be you to recognize that our wars are the same. What we must do is commit ourselves to some future that can include each other and work towards the future of particular strengths of our identities. And in order for us to do this, we must allow each other our differences at the same time as we recognize our sameness.
January's hymn of the month is number 350 in the Gray Hymnal, The Ceaseless Flow of Endless Time. This hymn has been adapted from the traditional African-American spiritual by the eminent 19th century African-American composer Harry T. Burleigh, yet another Black composer who is not a household name to most Americans, but nevertheless whose legacy and influence on the history of American music is undeniable. The words of the hymn were written by John Andrew Storey and explore complex concepts of time. The hymn's lyrics delve into the ways of the past, present, and future weave together in mysterious ways, deep thoughts. So we will literally take our time to learn this hymn throughout the month of January. Please rise and body your spirit to join us in singing. The ceaseless flow of endless time, no one can check or say. We'll view the past with no regret, nor future with dismay. The present slips into the past, and ignored melts away. The breaking of tomorrow's dawn begins anew today. The past and future ever meet in eternal now. To make each day of free complete shall be our new year vow. Please be seated.
Our Sunday worship is the shared spiritual practice of our community, and we tend to the congregation during this time by sharing and honoring our joys and sorrows. Here in the chapel, you are welcome to write your joy or sorrow on a candle card, which will be collected from you. Online, please write your joy or sorrow, including your name, into the chat box. These joys and sorrows will be spoken out loud, and then we will remove this part of the service from the recording that goes onto our YouTube channel, so that this sharing won't be publicly available online. So we have a few minutes of music so that you can write down what you would like to share. If you would like to send Reverend Sharon a confidential note about your joy or sorrow, or to make a prayer request, please email her. Her email address will be on the screen in a moment.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
We light a final candle for all the joys and sorrows that go unshared and unspoken this morning. These two are held in the love and support of this community. We now invite the children and anyone young at heart who would like to come forward for a story.
I can hear change humming in its loudest, proudest song, and I don't fear change coming, and so I sing along. I scream with the skies of red and blue streamers. I dream with the cries of tried and true dreamers. I am a chant that rises and rings. There is hope where my change sings. Though some we don't understand it, those windmills of mysteries, I sing with all the planet and its hills of histories. I hum with 100 hearts, each of us lifting a hand. I use my strengths and my smarts, take a knee to make a stand. I'm bright as the light each day brings. There is love where my change sings. I show others tolerance, though it might take some courage. I don't make a taller fence, but fight to build a better bridge. I talk not only of distances, from where and how we came. I also walk our differences to show we are the same. I am a movement that roars and springs. There's a wave where my change sings. Change sings where? There, inside me, because I'm the change I want to see. As I grow it, it grows like seeds. I am just what the world needs. I am the voice where freedom rings. You're the love your bright heart brings. We are the waves starting to spring, for we are the change we sing. We're what the world is becoming, and we know it won't be long. We all hear change coming. Won't you sing along? The end. Yeah.
Morning, everybody. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick activity recognizing BIPOC in our community, famous BIPOC people, so Black, Mexican, any person of color. I need kids or one of you guys to help me out really quick. You guys wanna help? Okay, so a picture of an individual or a parrot is gonna come up on the slideshow, and I need one of you adults in the congregation to name it, and the kids are gonna hand you the correct picture of said individual, if that makes sense.
Is this a contest?
No. But I'm hoping most of you know most of these people. There's 8 total. You guys see this? You guys can just go around and pick these people. Whoever. I'm hoping you guys, yes, pick out people. I'm hoping you guys know. So who is this first one?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama?
And then if you raise your hand, then the kids will call him.
Yes, I need one person at a time.
Raise your hands.
Yes.
Okay, that hand right there.
Yes.
So you take it to them?
Yes.
Well, she has to tell us who it is.
Yes. Okay, who is this lovely lady?
Raise your hand.
I don't know who said it, but someone said, yeah. Okay, next one. Does anyone know who this gentleman is?
George Takei.
Yes. Okay, yes. You can take it.
He's Mr. Sulu. What are you talking about?
Who is this individual? Just yell it at this point. Okay, thank you. Give it to whoever you want.
There's a hand.
Okay, next person. Who is this?
Deb Holland.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Secretary of the Interior.
Yes.
All right.
Street IW. Back to the choir.
Okay, next person. Does anyone know who this is?
Jean Pierre from the White House.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we got 2 more. Does anyone know who this one is? Okay, and we got one final person. One of the choir people. Does anyone know who this is? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. Okay, now we're gonna run through a slideshow really quick of just some other famous BIPOC individuals. Just really quick, it's gonna be quick.
Questions. The first question at the.
The Larry Summers question. What's up with tricks and science?
Slightly off topic, nonetheless interesting. Yeah.
It's science education.
Yeah, right. Does anyone want to field maybe if there are genetic differences between men and women that explain why more men are in science? Anyone want to touch that?
I've never been female. But I have been Black my whole life. And so let me perhaps offer some insight from that perspective, because there are many similar social issues related to access to equal opportunity that we find in the Black community as well as the community of women in a white male-dominated society. And I'll be brief because I want to try to get more questions. When I look at, throughout my life, I've known that I wanted to do astrophysics since I was 9 years old, the first visit to the Hague Planetarium. I was a little younger than Victor at the time, although he did it before I did. And so I got to see how the world around me reacted to my expression of these ambitions. And all I can say is the fact that I wanted to be a scientist and astrophysicist was hands down the path of most resistance through the forces of nature, forces of society. anytime I expressed this interest, teachers would say, don't you want to be an athlete? Or don't you want to, I wanted to become something that was outside of the paradigms of expectation of the people in power. And so fortunately, my depth of interest in things were so deep and so fuel enriched that every one of these curveballs that I was thrown in, fences built in front of me and hills that I had to climb, I just reached for more fuel and I kept going. Now here I am, I think, one of the most visible scientists in the land, and I want to look behind me and say, well, where are the others who might have been this? And they're not there. And I wonder what is the blood on the tracks that I happened to survive that others did not, simply because of the forces of society that prevented at every turn, to the point where I have security guards following me as I go through department stores, presuming that I'm a thief. I walked out of a store one time and the alarm went off, and so they came running to me. I walked through the gate. At the same time, a white male walked through the gate, and that guy just walked off with the stolen goods, knowing that they would have stopped me and not him. That's an interesting sort of exploitation of this, what a scam that was. I think people should do that more often, all right? So my life experience tells me that when you don't find blacks in the science, you don't find women in the sciences, I know that these forces are real and I had to survive them in order to get where I am today. So before we start talking about genetic differences, you gotta come up with a system where there's equal opportunity, then we can have that conversation.
I'm gonna do some talking. All right, so got some bullet points, and I'm gonna be talking about racism. Woo! So basically, I'm gonna be going over just some things about racism that a lot of people don't really talk about, because a lot of times people are talking about the aspect of racism that is obvious, like somebody not letting somebody into a store, or blatant segregation of a group of people because of skin color or culture, and not just the little things that are ingrained sometimes in the way we speak, the way we judge situations, the way we go about certain situations that you don't really think about, but you can kind of notice, you can kind of feel. So one of the things I've had a lot of experience hearing from friends, coworkers throughout life in different aspects of life is people trying to justify the stereotypes placed on a group through questioning and conversations, and leading them onto a path where their racism can be justified, sometimes just by the ignorance of their upbringing or the community they're surrounded by. A big one I've seen a lot is this actually happened a couple days ago at my work. One of my friends who is Hispanic started dating, and she got introduced to the family who is white, and there was a big surprise when they found out the daughter was dating somebody who was Hispanic, and it wasn't an obvious just like, oh, you're Hispanic. It was what do you do for your job? Or do you come from a safe household? Blah blah blah. And it's those little questions that you don't always catch the first time, that you're like, Are they trying to fuel like a little microaggression? Are they trying to fuel their internalized racism? And sometimes it's not that they even know they're doing it. Sometimes it's just, I don't have anybody telling me not to do this. And I've seen, or I feel like I should do this, and I don't know why. So I am going to just talk about a couple things that help with a community, if you're trying to build a community or trying to make a safe place for people of color, and something that you can do. So, how to build a good community around you. So number one, opening up the space to people of color and not trying to make it a space like you need, this is the space that you need to be in. If you are a person of color to be accepted, just open the space up. If people of color come in, they come in. If they don't, keep it open. And that's a good start, right? A lot of times in communities who are trying to build open space for people of color and stuff like that, there's this really stiff rule or kind of vibe that humor isn't a way of coping with racism. Of course, if you say a joke and it's bad, no, but humor is sometimes an escape method for people of color to finally be able to talk about the situations that they've been through without the serious overtone of just, talking about the situation point blank. So if a person of color is telling you an experience that they went through and you notice they're trying to use humor to cope with it, don't immediately shut that down. Sometimes just examine it through a lens of they're trying to express it the way they want to express it. And not all the time is it just them trying to downplay the situation. Or if somebody else is sharing a story, don't be your first thought of, wow, they're trying to downplay it. It's maybe that they don't know really truly how to speak out on it. And they are trying to do it in a way that they won't feel uncomfortable to others or themselves. So another thing for a healthy space for people of color and people who aren't is having that transparency that you are there to be a support system for them. And the biggest thing about that is you're not there having a public speaking in a minute. Let me get my words right. You're there to be a support system if they reach out to you or they feel like you are the support system that they want to be. Don't force yourself to be their support system. And that's a big thing. I've had people in my life do that, and they don't know that that's almost as detrimental as not being a support system, is when they feel like they have to be there when you're going through something tough, and they have to be the one who's going to help you the most, the one that's going to be there all the time. And for somebody to know that you're there for them if they need and if they reach out, and yeah, it's good sometimes to be like, hey, are you okay? Is there a way I can help? But a lot of time people do that. They do the, hey, can I be help? And then they get the, no, I'm good. And then it's the, I know you're not good. Why don't you talk to me? Why don't you open up? I'm here to help. I'm here to help. And you got to remember, some circumstances, especially with racism, are very, very delicate topics, even if it's just a little microaggression to full blown, you can't come in my store, it's traumatic in its own way. And that leads on to my next topic, is that a lot of people of color are tired. They're tired they go through life, right? I've gone through life. Of course. 20 years of that, right? And when you're young, you have that ignorance, right? You're like that, oh, the world's great. And then, of course, I'm sure most people of color have had that talk from their parents where like, hey, some people don't like you. And it's not because you're a mean person, it's because of your skin or your culture, or there's some things like, I remember my mom telling me like, yeah, there's some people out there who hate you because of your hair. And I'm like, what? And there's that whole conversation when you're little puts a lot of fear into kids. No matter what group you are in, if you are a POC and you've had that talk, it is not a fun one. And then you go through life, you go through experiences, right? Small, big, to each person, they are their own hurdles to jump. And you go through life and all these things are happening. All these people are reaching out for you, trying to help, which is great. But sometimes you need a space where you can feel safe knowing that you're not going to get approached by these issues, and you're not, and they know that if you want to reach out and get help, there will be resources for you. But if you just want to sit and have an escape from that, a lot of people of color really appreciate that. And me too. Like at work, that's one of my places, because there's just a bunch of people of mixed cultures there, and all we're doing is making wings. We're not sitting there talking about politics, we're not sitting there talking about, oh, blah, 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 to hear about blah, 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 that's happening, and stuff like that. And I have communities for that. I have communities that I can go to that I feel comfortable. And I am blessed that I have that. But it's also good to have an environment where you can feel safe just being you and existing without thinking about those issues. And yeah, so try to make a space for that and have them know in the back of their head that if they have a problem, they can reach out to you. They always got a shoulder to lean on. And bouncing off that, racism in society moves in tides. There are definitely performative things people do, social media, in person, that will play a big part of that. The last thing I've talked about, the tiredness, the mental ache of just knowing, like, especially during the George Floyd protests, I had a lot of people reach out, and it was amazing. But daily, that is so exhausting when you're trying to go through life, and all that stuff is happening, and people are trying to solve it. They're trying to help out. That is amazing. I love that. But sometimes you need that space to just step back and realize, okay, I'm in a good community. There's people who are helping out. Thank you for that. But I need like a day. I need a day. And realizing when the people of color in your community need that is probably one of the most important things I want you guys to take from this. Just knowing when you can take a step back and just be like, okay, they need their space for good or bad reasons, but I need to give them a safe place where we don't have to talk about that right now. And my phone turned off. Let me check the last couple of wait a second. I got you guys. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But yeah, and a little thing that can help with noticing little like undertones of racism is tone. If you notice somebody is talking about a topic and race is brought up, and right after that, race, culture, ethnicity is brought up, and there's that that eyebrow raise, that blah blah blah, detect that. I'm not saying it's all the time that is usually the precursor to are they good people, but a lot of times it's that first wave of emotion before they're able to clearly assess the situation. And sometimes that needs to be addressed with the people, because a lot of people don't realize their first emotion to a situation is usually perceived quicker than they are able to hide it. And it's kind of the same. Think of it as telling a really bad joke, and it just crashes, like you're doing stand-up, like you're right here where I am. I say a really bad joke, and you see everybody go, ooh. They collect themselves, what do you mean, poker face, But you see them do that's not, they can hear us, we're in the front row, like it's that first emotion. And you see that a lot in communities, even with friends and family, you'll see that. And addressing the situation after sometimes is the best, realizing that sometimes in the situation, it might not be good to immediately address it because we're human. If you get called out for something in front of a group of people, I'm human. I close up. I'm going to be like, what you mean? People are going to close up and they're not going to have that open mind mentality of just being like, okay, hey, bro, what you said there? Please don't do that again because this is why. And I'm looking out for you. Oh, okay. People are usually more open to that. And also if you bring in why, that's a big thing. And not as a rude way, but in a educating way. Not being like, hey, you did that, you're a bad person, is why did you bring that up? Blah, blah, blah. Because I'm pretty sure that this community doesn't find that respectful. But I want to know why you brought that up. And then you get their side of the story. If it is just an ignorance thing, okay, so this is the reason why you shouldn't do that, And it gets through a lot easier. And believe me, I have gone through that conversation with a lot of coworkers throughout the years, because I work at Wingstop. There's a lot of cycling people, and of all different political spectrums, ethnicities and stuff like that, and all different types of personalities to receiving information like that. And the main one is just letting them know that you're there to educate usually catches them by surprise so much because they're used to that topic always having a fighting energy, just like you're wrong, I'm right, instead of why did you say that? Because everybody wants to be treated like they're intelligent, even if their statements aren't. And a lot of times it's just things that have piled up from the past that have reached a point where they didn't think about the conversation that is leaving their mouth, and just giving them awareness that the words that they say are words and have meaning instead of just sentences that you can spew out really puts it in perspective for them. Take anything from that is just make sure that if you're making a safe place for people of color, realize that sometimes giving them a break from the daily push of push of racism, the push of racism in modern day society, giving them a little outside safe place that they can just go and get away from that on their own volition is sometimes the best thing you can do. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. But yeah, I got you guys.
Please rise in body or spirit to sing hymn number 9, Growing as We Go. We're gonna do it twice. seated.
Right. The Sunday offering is an expression of the generosity that makes our congregational life possible. As Buddhist teacher Sharon Salzberg writes, generosity is characterized by the inner quality of letting go or relinquishing. Being able to let go, to give up, to renounce, to give generously, these capacities spring from the same source within us. When we practice generosity, we open to all of these liberating qualities simultaneously. Please text your donation to Chalice. If you haven't texted a donation before, know that once you text the amount, you'll get a reply with a link to follow to enter your credit card information. If you have already entered this information previously when you've donated, you won't need to enter it again. If your Sunday donation is meant to be part of your pledge payment, please be sure to indicate pledge after the dollar amount. The phone number for text donations will be on the screen in a moment. If you prefer to make in-person donation of cash or check, there will be envelopes and a donation box to the left of the chapel doors. You can leave those donations after the service. Please give generously. Please join in dedicating our offering with words of affirmation. Our mission is to inspire individual and communal spiritual growth.
Please rise in body or spirit to sing hymn number 305, De Colores.
Shines out through a rift in the cloud and it showers.
Our closing words come from Go in Peace, Seeking Justice by Tim McGaugh. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in mindless oblivion. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go without challenging yourself or others. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in utter ease and comfort. When I say go in peace, I mean go in peace, seeking justice. I mean go in peace, committed to equal rights and opportunities for all. When I say go in peace, I mean go in the peace that is created when together we build communities of true solidarity, deep compassion, and fierce, unrelenting love. Go in peace. Love and blessings to each of you. Blessed be. You are invited to close our time together by singing The Well. After our closing hymn, please return to your seats for an announcement.
We drink from the well together, cool, cool water that quenches my thirst, a thirst for justice, a thirst for joy, a thirst for a love that we're all a part of. We drink from the well. We drink from the well together. Hand in hand we are standing as one, standing for justice, standing for joy, stand for a love that we're all a part of. We drink from the well. Open the doors to the world outside, spirits renewed from within. Look for the dream in each other's eyes, a spark where a new world begins. Yes, we drink from the well together. Heart to heart we are dancing as one, dancing for justice, dancing for joy, dance for a love that we're all a part of. We drink from the well, spirits renewed. We drink from the well, stand hand in hand. We drink from the well, dancing for joy. I feel my heart swell. We drink from the well. Thank you.
I'm very, very happy to announce that Tim McKnight and Maria Pia Duffy Foltz and Jennifer Savion are planning an amazing concert for us in just about 2 weeks, Saturday, January 20th, here at 7 p.m. Night songs and lullabies. I will read what Tim wrote as a description of this concert. As the darkness of winter surrounds us, this concert will explore the beauty of night and the dreams that fill the mysterious journey we call sleep. You'll hear beautiful lullabies from around the world, exquisite art songs, Broadway hits, and an eclectic array of piano solos and duets. No need to fear the darkness, and this performance will remind us to treasure it. Now, this is an auction event from, I believe, our first auction last year, the March auction. So if you've already purchased tickets, you're good, show up. And if you did not purchase tickets, you can show up, and there is a $20 requested donation. Yeah, so we hope to see you all there on January 20th. Thank you.
Our social hour will begin in a few minutes, online at the same Zoom link and in person on our courtyard. Those of you who are here in person might want to bring your refreshments into the Blue Room. We have a visit with our online congregants. We look forward to greeting you at the chapel doors to hear how the service was meaningful to you. Peace be with you.